so much for doing this. Welcome to Moontower.
Thank you. Romulus, Remus. My baby brother, Rich.
On the coattails one more time and enjoying every bit of it.
Is this your first time to Austin?
No, I think O'Reilly and I were here within the last year.
November, and did Margie from Cap
right,
City
yes.
went out and saw it, loved the show, and sold out like crazy, man. So I think about a year ago, maybe less.
Yeah. You go into town with O'Reilly, though. You're in the big shadow. I always tell him, you're the cigarette boat Don Johnson. I'm Esther Williams in a maillot, just water skiing behind you. Cypress Garden.
He is the alpha dog.
Take me back. Take me to young Dennis, starting out in comedy,
So funny.
living with this guy.
So funny. I remember we used to read Hunter Thompson to each other as we'd doze off at night when we were little kids. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and we just...
We moved.
How?
Den was moving to New York in '79, and he's just to kind of cut his teeth in comedy. He says, "Were you doing anything?" And I was managing a jewelry store then. I said, "No." So we went up, and I will have to say, the best year. I mean,
God, we laughed so hard.
And
we were so broke.
Yeah, really.
And,
Three of us living in a one bedroom. We had a buddy, and
We had that fifth floor walk up in Chelsea. We had a bathroom in the hallway that we shared with a prostitute. She was a junkie.
it was nuts.
And I remember the best was I brought Scott Blakeman home one night from the comic strip because he lived out in Jersey and he had to take the train out to Jersey. And it was 4 in the morning when we got off stage. This is how shit our sets were. So I said,
Yeah.
Scotty, why don't you crash at my place? Don't wait down there for the PATH train
Right.
that late at night. You'll get killed. Wait till 7 when sun comes up and goes. He's okay. I walk in. We're living in that rat trap.
Yeah,
You
really.
two guys are laying on a futon on a wood floor.
Yeah.
It's 4 in the morning. I
It
walk
was-
in,
it was bleak.
You guys look up. I go, it's my brother, my friend Albin. He's there. I'm going to go catch the train. It was just too skeevy. He risked death in the PATH train.
Yeah, I used to sleep under Bean's drafting board. It's
was
fucking rough,
grim.
man. And speaking of that, I left you that message that Otto Peterson just passed
Yeah,
away.
I saw
The
it.
first Otto and George ever heard back
Do you know
in
them?
No.
Pornographic puppet. The funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, but
Oh, yes. Yeah, the ventriloquist.
Well,
Yeah,
the-
but
he-
George was the puppet.
Right.
Otto's the real
Right.
guy, which is the weird conceit.
But back in '79, before he became popular, Den came home from an open mic one night when we were up in New York. He said, "Boy, I saw the craziest thing in my life."
Because the puppet would just light people up like, what is this for? Is this TV?
Can we
Is this
swear?
off?
You can swear.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was making this woman cry.
Who's
one
working
night.
your fucking
Yeah,
head?
he goes, who's working your head, bitch? and the kid is holding on to the puppet, and the whole conceit of the show is he can't believe the puppet's this crazy. That's the whole thing. And you start to buy it because he's like, geez, what are you doing, George? Please, you're going to get me killed. And you realize he's the one saying
And back then, nobody even knew of Otto and George. You know,
Yeah.
these
Yeah,
last
they were a
years, I
cult
mean, he
act.
had grown into a cult thing. But back then, he was
I didn't
just
know you had
man.
that. You were that fond of that year up there. God, we were as broke can be.
We were broke, but it was a lot of yucks.
Yeah, we laughed.
It was a lot of yucks. Yeah, we had no money. Jesus Christ, man. And then we had a neighbor, Blind Teddy Wassick. He used to just play that guitar. We used to call him Blind Teddy Wassick. We knew him from the Berg. We're from Pittsburgh.
He'd
And
crank
would
up
just,
guitar at 5 in the morning.
yeah, we would just call him Blind
Anywho,
Teddy Wassick. And
We're
he was
too
terrible.
inside on our misery. But it was a fun time.
It was. The '79 was a good time. That's for sure.
Did you
Yeah, I
guys-
enjoyed that, man.
Did you guys always know you wanted to do something in comedy, or?
Well, he always had a better head for business. When he was young, he was the first one who had a real job managing this jewelry store. I was kind of lost. I was selling double pane windows over the phone. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I saw Kelly Monteith one night. I don't know if you're hip to him. He's a comedian from the last generation, but a great pro. And I saw him one night. I said, man, does that look like a cool job? But you had no concept back then. Now everybody
Yeah.
wants to be a comedian. At that
Yeah,
point,
yeah, that was
I
my-
said, can I go backstage? And they told him. He was sweet enough to say yeah. I sat down. I said, man, this I need a sword from the stone moment. You know, as helpless as a kid is. I
Yeah.
said, can you help me out? How do you do this? What do you do? And he's just sit down and think and grunt out a few jokes. And then get the courage to tell them. And so strip
Was
bars,
that on
the whole thing.
Where was that? Where was that, downtown or
Playhouse.
Oh, okay.
Next thing I know, I'm at Paglisotti's Go-Go Lounge, standing on that bar. You remember? They had a bar the women would strip on him on Oliver. Hey, folks, nice to be here.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when you finally do make it somewhere in comedy, you're ready to get in from the cold, brother, because it is nasty out there.
Remember the Vibrators Club down
Yeah.
in McKees Rocks, man? That was crazy. And he used to do this variety show when he was first starting out with Remy Bishop, Joey Bishop's brother.
And it turns out it wasn't.
It wasn't
He was
Remy?
just lying.
That was his big credit too.
Yeah,
and he used to
everybody
have
would
some
work with him
singers.
because he said, Joey's my brother. I found out years later. I said to Joey, I said, I met your brother Remy. He said, that fucking guy, he's not my brother.